Welcome back to the Wave Room podcast, where we listen, speak, and create our own wave. Today's guest needs no introduction, but I'm gonna give him one anyways. Former Division I football player via Oregon Ducks and my alumni's rival UTEP. He was a Juco All-American, named the top Juco inside linebacker by 24/7 Sports. So yeah, he up there. Currently one of the best content creators out there, and personally one of my top influencer I invest my time watching. Welcome,
Appreciate
AJ
that.
Hopkins, to the Wave Room podcast.
What's going on, guys, man? I appreciate the intro. Dude, I thought you were going to ask me. So I listen to a lot of podcasts myself, and like especially Joe Rogan, and he'll like open up the floor for somebody to do an intro. So I was a little bit nervous coming on here. I'm like,
Oh, you're
fuck,
good.
man, I hope he doesn't ask me for an intro. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to say. You know what I mean?
I got you. Well,
Yeah, that was a good one, though, bro. That was a good one.
I appreciate it. I feel like you always got to give people their respect, their flowers, while they're here.
I
But
appreciate that, bro.
With Joe Rogan, he's one of the guys I listen to. And I'm like, okay, let me see the full episode, how he starts it off. He literally they just kind of go and he opens the floor like that. And for me, I'm like,
yeah, it's like free form. I love it.
Yeah,
it's like free form. He's like, and he kind of does what you do. You just give them a brief introduction and they fucking go. You know what I mean? So I thought it was all good.
Yeah, that's pretty much what the Wave Room podcast is all about. You can, create your own wave, be you. Yeah. So let me AJ Hopkins again. Let me use my Rodecaster Pro real quick for this. You hear that?
Yeah.
Hey, give my boy a round of applause. Give my boy a round of applause.
I like it, bro.
But yeah, like I said, welcome again. Thank you for joining in, taking the time. So I know you're currently you currently reside in El Paso, but where are you from and how was it growing up in your hometown?
So I'm from Portland, Oregon. It's interesting. So like growing up in Portland, Oregon, it's a little bit, I don't know, I like in terms of like athletic, just being an athlete growing up in Portland, it's interesting because you're kind of like sheltered, right? Because in Portland, you could be a really big fish in a really small pond. And especially growing up, it's a little bit bigger now. There's a little bit more of like a sports background. But like when I was growing up, like I'm single mom, being in Portland, Oregon, it's a little bit sheltered. It's not like, I always tell people this, it's not like Southern California, like South Florida, growing up in Miami, where it's like, dude, it's like eat or get ate. You know what I mean? You could be an average athlete in the Portland metro area, and you could be a pretty good athlete. You know what I mean? In that world. So I mean, that's a little bit about my background growing up. I actually played basketball. I posted a video on that a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
LeBron James of high school basketball. I saw that. Hey, yeah,
1000%. But yeah, so I grew up playing basketball. I played basketball up until I think my freshman year in high school, and I took my sophomore year off. So my sophomore year, I didn't play any sports. I think I played AAU basketball, and it's interesting because, and I'm just kind of like, now I'm rambling. You got me to ramble already, and we just jumped on. So my freshman year in high school, let me know if I'm doing too much here. My freshman year in high school, I played varsity basketball. I actually had a really good year. In my sophomore year, I always had like the fear to like compete. It's really interesting. So my sophomore year, I decided not to play basketball, and I don't think I've ever told anybody this, but it was because people were like, "Is he going to start? Is he not going to start?" Like my freshman year, I was a sixth man off the bench, like probably averaged like 8 points a game or something like that, which was like I was successful for like a freshman. I was pretty good. So anyway, my sophomore year, I chose not to compete in any like high school sport, and I did AAU basketball, which again, like looking back, was a huge mistake. Like on my TikTok, I've kind of said this, where like I think that athletes should do as many sports as possible.
Right.
Like I think you should fucking wrestle. You should do like track. Like find as many ways to compete as possible. And I think that's extremely important. Just learning to be competitive. So anyway, moving to my junior year. So going into my junior year is my first year competing in football. And I balled out. I played fullback and I played defensive end. The reason why I play defensive end, not linebacker, is just like the learning curve. I think defensive end's like a
Easier.
much simpler. Yeah, it's just like, dude, you just go get the quarterback. You know what I mean? It's like much less assignments. And I was a good athlete.
Face for
yeah, you just go. You know what I mean? At defensive end, you just kind of go. And I ended up balling out, dude. I don't know if you've seen my my high school fullback highlights, but like it's like ridiculous, right? So
was out there blowing shit. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
shit.
bro. And fullback is easy, bro. You just go. It's like ISO. You got toss. You're like you got the middle linebacker. Like you go get that guy. So my job was pretty simple, and I was physical. I was hungry, and I wanted to like my entire life. I'm like, dude, I just got to get a scholarship. I just got to get a scholarship. I got to play sports. I got to play sports. And that was kind of like my life growing up. Like that was my thought process. And so my junior year, I started to get some attention, like from college scouts, like smaller schools. Like I think my first offer was, I want to say like the University of Montana. It was interesting because it was at fullback. And they were like just one of the, all right, bro. They were just one of the only schools that carried a fullback, right?
Yeah. You don't really use them.
And then
really use them.
Dude, yeah, like so I was like, it's funny because like maybe 10 years, if I was 10 years older, I might have like went to USC. Like I might have got immediate like college football attention, but I got offered by Montana, like Portland State, Northern Colorado, and these bigger schools were coming in. And I used to like lie to myself, I think, and I'd say like, it's because, you know, my grades. But I think if you're good enough, like your grades really don't matter.
Right.
Like, what do you think about that? I'll let you kind of talk on that. Yeah, like they'll find you a way.
They'll find you.
Like,
yeah, that's the philosophy. I live in. But go where you say.
It's like, dude, like Oregon State will find a way to get you in. Like University of Oregon will find a way to get. Like, there's a couple schools like USC, Washington that like, dude, you're fucked. Like, you might not be able to get into those schools, but like Oregon State, bro, there's fucking very minimal academic requirements. So I used to say like, man, my grades. Like I had like a 2.1. I was like on the verge of qualifying, not qualifying. Cause dude, like I said, like my mom doesn't know shit about academics. Like nobody knows shit. We're just like, and I hate school myself. Like I always say,
it's
that.
not
Like,
for everybody. Well, I'll say this, man. The reason why I asked that question is because, well, I did my research. You know, I was like, hey, and I know in your videos you say you're from Oregon. So Oregon, it's kind of like Alaska. I grew up in Anchorage, Alaska. So that's why I asked the questions. And I was like, I know it's probably similar, but let me go ahead and ask. But that's what it was too out there. Like you can't get recruited for one. It's out of the middle of nowhere, and you kind of like you gotta go beyond and above. You gotta have the physical. You just don't get recruited Division I wise. So that's what I was gonna tell you. That's why I asked, like, hey, tell us, you know, a little about your Oregon upbringing. But fast forward to what I do know now. If you're a baller, they will come get you. But I used to do that same thing too. I didn't know I was undersized until I got to college. Like I walked onto University of Idaho, and I went in. I was gonna tell you I was a fullback when I went there, and they didn't really use. Yeah, so I'm like, what the hell? Like
What year did you graduate?
I graduated high school 2014. So I was a 2014 grad.
Bro, okay, so I want to rewind. University of Idaho was my first offer at fullback.
But
that's so weird, bro.
Coach,
I'm totally tripping.
Hold on.
Coach Mickens recruited me, who is, man, I don't know where he's at now.
Who the fullback coach was at the time? He was dude.
I'm not even sure, bro. I just know the DB coach is the one that recruited me, and they ended up pulling my offer later. Like they didn't like literally say like, hey, we're pulling your offer, but they kind of do that thing where they like stop replying to you a little bit, and they're like, you know, and they're like not very transparent about it. But bro, that's crazy how our worlds, because I'm class of 14 as well, bro.
What? I did not know that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's weird. So like literally, like we could have been at this. It's fucking weird how the world works, bro.
Well, like I mean, we'll talk about this other topic too, you know, energy, law of attraction, things like that. But I really do believe you don't cross paths with people, you know, on accident. You know, some people, you know, there was a purpose. But yeah, it is just weird how everything works out. And then we'll get into more of that too, because
but yeah. I wanna bounce off your point. So your point was Anchorage, Alaska. So not only is it, and it's the same thing for Portland, Oregon. And if you're a college football coach, you got to think like in your head, it's like, okay, so if you're from a smaller city, say like even El Paso, even Las Cruces, and you're not a physical specimen, like, which I honestly I'm really not. Like I'm athletic, like I do some good shit. Yeah. Well, I would even say, like, I would argue that you're not 6'4", long arms, freakishly fast. Like, you know what I mean? Like, those are the things that college football coaches are looking for. So if you're not that prototypical linebacker, safety, corner, quarterback, whatever the case may be, like, you're going to struggle getting recruited because you might be balling out in Anchorage, bro, but what the fuck does that matter, bro? It doesn't matter because it's like, dude, the level of competition is shitty. The level of competition in Portland, Oregon is not very good. It's not LA. So if I'm balling out and I go to modern day high school, it's a no-brainer.
No-brainer.
It's like that kid is going to go Division I, you know, and yes, size still is important. Yes, your physical attributes are still important, but it's like, dude, he's balling out against the best guys in the country right now. Right. You know what I mean? And again, it just makes you a better football player. So like I'm like, dude, I'm walking around with my chest out in Portland, Oregon, and I'm like, dude, I'm a baller, you know, but it's like at the same time, but at the same time, as you know, bro, it's like, you know, even if I am a baller, it's like my skills still haven't been tested. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm not competing with the best guys. So that's also a major factor. But you have like the top 5 guys in Portland, Oregon, like in my class were like Joey Alfieri, like Henry Mondu. Like these were guys that like had the physical like skills as well as like the so they had like the total package. So those guys were getting Stanford offers, and I didn't get it at the time. I'm like, well, the motherfucker runs 4.5. Yeah. Like if you run a 4.5 at a Nike combine, right? And college coaches are like, damn, this dude runs a 4.5 and his film matches. But it's like for me, I'm like kind of stiff, a little bit on the slower end. I'm probably running like a 5 flat in high school. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I've never learned to run. But it's it goes back to that sports family because like for my kids, like it wouldn't really matter. I'd be like, well, look, this is the reality. It's like, dude, you need to run track growing up because you need to be able to run a fast 40 in order to like show that you're able to like your game is going to translate to the next level. And I think that's what I didn't understand. I'm like, dude, I'm a like, bro, I don't know if you've seen my high school film, no, but it's like I'm running through people's face, bro. Like I say it all the time on my TikTok to piss people off, but I'm like, literally, bro, like show me a better high school football fullback. And if you think somebody's better, I don't give a fuck. That's just what I think of myself. But I'm like, bro, like some of the shit was like ridiculous what I was doing, but my physical skills didn't match my film at the time, if that makes sense. Because I just wasn't knowledgeable enough of it.
A lot of people don't know that it comes at different times.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you hit it on the spot with all the that information because a lot of people just don't know. One, me and you were from like 2 secluded areas where we're big fish in a little pond, right? But for 2, like I know you had mentioned your mom, she didn't even really know about like college football or just sports period, like how the recruiting process. That's how I grew up too. None of my family, very gifted family, Anchorage. And I'm sure just like where you're from, man, there's a ton of great athletes. So I do get in these debates sometimes where I'm like, yo, yes, you're a baller. You're a brand baller, but I was like, you got to be doing that at a national level. You know, you're doing that at a state level, great, but you got to see it for the bigger picture. And then, like I said, our parents didn't understand, you know, what was what. I was a first generation college student, you know, and so I didn't even know what Division I, Division II, Division III until like my senior year. I was like, oh, I just wanted to get to the league. So you feel me?
Yeah.
I was like, what I need to get to the NFL. But that's why, you know, to University of Idaho. And so that's pretty much why I asked where you were from, because I get in debates with people from my hometown. So this is the debate in my hometown, right? Anchorage, Alaska. The athletes could still stay and still get recruited to play NAIA, D3, D2, and get a good education. So they want our athletes to stay, but They're only really
Why?
getting those offers, right? Versus taking a chance and moving to the to the states. So we call the lower 48 the states, the bigger state,
Uh-huh.
to get a better chance to get a Division I football scholarship. So whether that's via leaving early in high school or going to junior college route. So that's why I was going to ask, like, what's your stance? Like, were you in that position where you like, did you ever debate like, okay, I need to leave Portland, Oregon, I need to move somewhere, or were you like, you didn't, you guys didn't have the means to move, or that just wasn't even in the question, and you just went
Bro,
your college route? Like, how was that process for you, and what's your stance on like moving out of your hometown versus staying?
bro, okay, like let me answer your question directly and then I'll go off on a tangent. But
All right.
to answer your question directly, I don't think there's any right or wrong answer. It's like up to you. Like, dude, if you think like I'm big on this, like do whatever you think is best. Like, so if you're like, dude, like I want to stay in Anchorage and I want to play the NAIA and that's what I'm comfortable doing, I'll say great. You know what I mean? Awesome. Like for myself, what do I think is best for AJ? What would I think is best for you? But it doesn't matter what I think is best for you or anybody else. My advice would be to move and expand and to see other things. It's like, dude, go test yourself, go test your boundaries. I think it's especially important for young men, not just in football, but in anything, to go and test, like see what you're made of. Like go like I talk about like my JUCO experience. Like, dude, I was homeless, like straight up. Like I don't have any money. I like literally, bro.
Getting
Go see
ten
what you're
dollars
made
for
of.
2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Like I know what it feels like to have shit, nothing, bro. And like literally go eat Jack in the Box. That's my one meal, and go try to ball out. Like I know what that. I know what it. And then it's like you have no guarantee. So like I'm happy for my experience.
Right.
Now, like, so that's what I'm saying. Like there is no right or wrong answer. It's like, dude, there's probably like I don't know what an NAI. I don't know anything about that. But somebody could give me their perspective on what they think that's about. But my point is like there's no right or wrong. I would encourage people to always expand, like to go test the boundaries. So like for me, that was the JUCO route. For somebody else, it might be like, dude, I went to the University of Alabama instead of going to the University of Oregon. Like say I'm from Portland, I had Oregon, I had Alabama. There's guys with this situation. Or I'm from Southern California, I went to Mater Dei. And like the quarterback from Alabama now, right? Or he
Oh,
went to
Bryce Young.
Mater
Bryce
Dei.
Young? Yeah, he went
Yeah,
to.
bro. He could have went to SC, but he said, "Dude, let me go test my skill set." And he went to Alabama, so he's dealing with a different set of adversity than what I dealt with, but he's still pushing himself. So, like, I think good things happen when you test boundaries and when you push limits, because you get to see what you're capable of. A lot of people go about life and they're like, I'm just gonna take the safe route because this is what my uncle told me. No, fuck that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like go
Fuck
test
that.
go
Fuck
test
that
your
shit.
that's my advice, right? I'm like, dude, go see what you're about. You know what I mean? Go
No,
take the harder, less travel the path that's less traveled. It's like the cliche shit is always like pretty accurate, bro. It's like the path less traveled.
yeah,
Straight up.
and it's
You know
really
what I mean?
the cliche stuff, but it's like some simplicity. Like you feel me? That you're like
Yeah.
work hard. Like it's those, but it's like literally that's what it is. You listen to those words, and it's literally what it is. Like you go out, take
Yeah.
a chance. But that is no, you did hit. Yeah, you did hit that. And people, here's kind of my stance on it. Okay, so you're from that area. Our areas are the same. Not really recruited. You got to be a physical specimen. To get recruited, hit all these camps,
Right.
X, Y, and Z. But if you're not, say you might be undersized, but your skill set is there. I'll say this, man. Think realistic too. So have that dream, right? But think a little realistic too. If you know for sure, without a doubt on your mind, you could play Division I, take that fucking chance. That's what I believe. And I was like, I
Take
don't
the
like
chance.
take that chance. If
Bro, I love that,
we
bro.
had the means, if we had the means when I growing up to like move to a different state, I would have been like, hey, yo, mom, can we move our junior year or let me stay, in this, city with auntie or something. But we didn't.
Right.
I still finished high school in Alaska. Um, but what I know now, literally, if you really believe that and you're realistic with yourself, I can't play D1, go get that shit. I feel like don't settle for the D2, NAIA.
Bro.
this and that. And that's why I went to junior college. Well, I had walked on. So I was so like infatuated with just being D1, right? I was so like, bro, I belong here.
Right.
I actually walked on to University of Idaho. A lot of people, I don't know if a lot of people know that. I'd prefer walk on to like if you ball out, because their senior fullback was leaving. If you ball out, you know, we'll get you on scholarship in the spring. So I ended up balling out.
Right.
It was one like 2 weeks into camp, I was deemed ineligible to play. And so whatever. But I had switched to linebacker. I went from fullback to linebacker because the coach, you know,
Right.
I forget, man, you probably know who it is. I just had button heads, like we didn't see eye to eye, you know, things like that. But anyways, a lot of people didn't even know I was a walk-on until I told them, because the reps I did take, like, you know, for walk-ons, you don't really get reps, but because I was at fullback and then I got some shit at linebacker, I was like, fuck that. I'm a kamikaze this shit. I'm about to, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to go run.
Bro, yeah, you're from
face.
Bro, I'll tell you this, bro.
Yeah.
You keep downplaying Anchorage, Alaska, bro, but like, bro, when I think of Anchorage, I think of like tough motherfuckers, bro.
Hey,
like, I wouldn't want to get in a fist fight in Anchorage, bro. Straight up. Like, they're probably fucking savages up there,
there's
bro.
some tough dudes.
Like,
yeah, there's some
straight up. It's a different life, bro. Like, living in Anchorage has got to be different. But go ahead, bro. Sorry.
No,
like
we bounce off each other. It's that energy, you know. It's that energy. But yeah, like I said, I just, you know, I believed in myself, had that chip on my shoulder, and then one day I'm kicking it with some of the football players. You know, they're Polynesian. They're like talking to me, hey, yeah, man, when do you get your check? You know, you get stipends and stuff, or you know,
yeah, you're like, bro, I don't get one.
Yeah, yeah. What check? FAFSA? Like, you know, what are you talking about? The scholarship.
Yeah, right.
I was like, oh man, I'm a walk on. He's like, what? Like, you're a walk on? And so they planted that.
No way.
Yeah, they planted that seed in my head. Like, bro, you should go to junior college, bro. Like, you can either wait here. They told you you're gonna be on scholarship in the spring. You're probably gonna be waiting here 2 years. So they're like, I rather go and play where you're actually gonna play. Go to junior college, and then, you know, that kind of planted in my head. And then yeah, I ended up going to junior college the next semester, and then the rest kind of, you know, wrote itself. But yeah, that's I always so the moral of it is bet on yourself. You know what I'm saying? If your dream ain't D1, if your dream ain't D2, D3, and nothing wrong with those, you know, levels at all. You know, I try not to some people can get offended, but it's no disrespect. It's coming out of, you know, good intention. No disrespect to those levels, but if you're D1, bro, fuck, go be D1. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
like
go stick to shit. Don't settle for great education. That's where a lot of coaches are like, but you're furthering your education. You're getting a great education. I personally feel like,
bro, I don't give a damn about education, bro. Straight up. I don't care about that, bro. Like, that's not what I'm doing this for.
Yeah, I'm not doing like, that's what I had to debate with like some coaches, because they're all, and I'm like, I respect you guys, but when you tell a kid, hey, just take this, you know, if you get a D2, D3, this and that, it's about furthering your education. But I'm like, that's not the dream though. I didn't wake up. I wasn't playing football to further my education. I was playing football to get to the highest level, and I would just so happen to be getting the free great education. So
yeah, right.
Yeah, that's my stance on it. But yeah, man.
So like, let me add to that. So like, in my head in high school, I thought I was so good that I could not believe that I wasn't being offered. Because I'm looking at other guys and I'm comparing film, bro. Like, I remember we used to spend time, bro. Like, me and a couple other dudes in high school, bro, we would spend time like watching these top 100 guys. They're huddled, and I'm like looking. I'm like, bro, these guys are not better than me, straight up.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. And honestly, I think they were. Now that I look at it, I'm like, dude, that motherfucker's running 4.5. He's a freak. Like, these are guys that are in the NFL now. These are guys that are playing at a very high level. But in my head, I was like, dude, no way. And I always talk about like having an unrealistic perception of yourself because it's important. It's like, bro, I'm going to compete better if I'm like, dude, these motherfuckers are not better than me, period. Like, I believe that and then when I go and I see it, I'm like, yeah, I'm better than these guys. So I'm like, dude, I don't know why Oregon State's not offering me. Like, I don't know why UW's not offering me. I don't know why these. So I'm like, man. And then I had a Juco coach reach out to me and was kind of like putting these thoughts in my, you know, and they're doing their job. They're just doing their, but they're adding to my vision already. They're like, bro, like, no, like you come here. We had a guy named Zaire Anderson. Like that's a real name too. He's 5'10", just like you, and he came here and he bought out 2 years and he went to Nebraska. And I'm like, man, I could go to Nebraska. And they're like, yeah, man, you're in Portland, Oregon, and your coach isn't really helping you get out. And I'm like, yeah, it's true. This is all true shit.
Yeah.
So in my head, I was like, bro, fucking Juco. I'm like, I'm going Juco. Like, and that's exactly what I did. You know what I mean? And I'm so happy I did it. But like, if you would have told my 18-year-old self, and I wasn't like financially privileged, but like I was on the tit is what I call it. Like I was on my mom's tit. Like that's a provocative way to like say that, but it's like I was relying on my mother. You know what I mean? So like my mom would clean up after me, like cook, like she would like. There was certain shit I did, but I shouldn't say it like that.
She would make it happen. No, I understand. Yeah, she whatever she would support and be there. Yeah.
Yeah,
shout out to all the mothers out there. Hey, that's love.
Right? Yeah. My mom does her. Yeah, like it's actually not really a good. Yeah. Shout out to all the moms. I love my mom. I'm like really good relationship with her at the moment, just because like I've realized some stuff, and I'm like, yeah, dude. Like as a man, you can't be on the tip, bro. Like in my opinion, this is just my opinion. If you're on the tip, like whatever.
You can't.
Yeah, where you're like, dude, like I got to make it on my own. You know what I mean? And so like if you would have told my 18-year-old self that didn't know how to fucking cook an egg, that I was gonna go be homeless in Southern California, and that was gonna be like my path to sitting here on this podcast with you, like I would have been like, I don't know about that. Like, let me fucking play it safe and go to Montana and be cold as shit. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. It's just weird. Like you said, everything happens for a reason. I think I don't say it like that, but I do agree with you. I think like you make choices and you end up in certain places, and you can look at it optimistically and say, dude, I'm so happy that I fucking lost everything. I'm so happy that I transferred from Oregon, even though I was non-competitive and it was just bitch ass shit. Like I was scared to compete. So I transferred to UTEP, ended up balling out here, and now I'm sitting at Tippy T's. It's just crazy how life works. You know what I mean?
Paradigm shift. I'll tell people about that paradigm shift. It's like paradigm is pretty much the lenses you see life in. Some people just got to change, some people need a whole like 180 shift. Some people need a 160-degree shift. Everyone needs to shift, when they start feeling themselves, I guess, getting too comfortable, or just like when they're on the verge of like, fuck, is this worth it? Nah, just, hey, clean your lenses a little bit, change them out.
Optimism.
Yeah,
like,
optimism.
I could take anybody's situation in America and say, you should be optimistic, because I'd be like, dude, like, okay, like you're homeless today, but at least you have the freedom to like make a choice and like do what you want to do. Like, and they can't do that in a certain place. They can't do that in China. You know what I mean? You're assigned certain shit. You don't have an opportunity. Like I love my life. Like no matter what's going on. So it's just like looking at it optimistically, like, damn, man, this shit is hard, but it's the challenge that I need, I think, right now. Like whenever I'm going through a hard time, I'm like, dude, this is what I need, like in order to grow as a human being. And when you like, and I'm big on this, we kind of got off topic, but I'm big on like there's been times where I look back at my Juco experience and I'm like, dude, I got through that. I didn't even know I was going through anything. I'm like, dude, I'm taking the bus an hour and a half to Popeyes, bro. I'm clocking in at Popeyes with 20 plus offers, bro. Like, and I'm like, literally, I'm like, fuck.
You was working? You had a whole job when you was going to Juco?
Bro. Okay, so like, yeah, we're all off. But yeah, okay. So hold on. I'm gonna come back to that. This is, I think, like I'm like all over the place. But yeah, if you believe that you're a Division I guy, fucking go Juco. Especially if you're in a small town, or you're not getting the respect you think you deserve. I mean, fuck it. Who's to say that you're not? If you believe it and you can't do it, guess what? It's a learning experience. So it doesn't matter, bro. There's motherfuckers that have unrealistic. I look at them, they say positive shit to me. They're like, bro, I'm about to go try this. I'm like, I don't think that's going to happen for them. But do I tell them that? No, I'm like, hell no, bro, go try it.
Yeah, hell yeah. Exactly.
I'm like, bro,
I got
who am I to say? Yeah, exactly. They believe it. They believe it. Fuck does it matter to me? I'm not the one making the decision. They think they're a Division I running back. They think they should go JUCO. Bro, I'm not gonna put him out there, but there's a kid that, man, they used to, he videotaped, he was videotaping over the summer for me, and he wanted to go JUCO over like a D2. I personally think he's a D2 guy. That's what I think. I think he should have took whatever he could get. That's what I think of him as a former college football coach, as somebody that's, but bro, it doesn't fucking matter what I think. I'm not about to discourage him. There's too much of that shit where somebody else thinks you can't do it. So they say, oh, no, you can't do it. Fuck what they think. Straight up, bro. Do what you want to do.
Hey, 100%.
Straight up.
You know, for real, because I'm like that too. So for me, I only really pour in all the energy that I want to do. So if I'm interested in it, like, oh, I'm all in. But like, you know, other people come, hey, I want to do this. I think I can do this. You know, something in the back of my head, I'm like, but I'm like, hell yeah,
I don't think so.
Encouraging. Yeah, I'm encouraging you. I'm like, fuck it. Like, hey, you think that? It's true. If you think, like, you know that saying, if you think you can, if you think you can't, you're right. You know,
you're right.
Yeah, right. You're fucking right.
You're right.
With both options. But we'll dip into a little bit of your JUCO, because I'm a JUCO guy. You're a JUCO guy. I went to LA Harbor, and I know you went to Riverside. I saw that. We played.
Bro, yeah. We played each other.
That's another thing. But like, we played each other. So I was gonna say, this has. So there's a theory out there. It's called, I forget what it's called, but pretty much everyone in this world is connected by 13 people. Have you heard of that theory? It's like the 13 people I know.
It makes sense.
13 people here, know the 13 people here. And it's just, I don't know. That's just what I believe in too. I was like, somehow, some way, we all know each other. That's why they say, like, with Polynesians, like Samoans and all, there's like, oh, you guys are all related. If you think back on it, somehow we probably are, but you know.
Yeah, I think we are. If you look far back enough, like me and you are related somehow. I mean,
somehow
like,
there's a connection. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's wild because I was like, you know, doing my research. I was like, oh shit, like went to Riverside. Y'all blew us out. I think y'all was gonna score 100 points on us. I don't know. I think the final score was like.
What year was it? Oh, what? So you went in, like, you would have been my sophomore year. You would have been my sophomore year.
I redshirted that year, the JUCO. So 2014.
No, okay. Wait, so did you guys play at RCC or did you guys play at
RCC twice?
LA Harbor.
2 years in a row we played at RCC. So you guys had a running back with long hair. The Asian dude.
Seth Octa, Asian dude. That motherfucker is cold. That's a motherfucker cold. That's like, he's a D1 guy to me. Like, bro, he could play at UTEP. Like, he could play at New Mexico State. He's just small. Like, he doesn't look good. That motherfucker, like, looks terrible, bro. Like, no offense to him. He looks like a little rocked up bodybuilder. Like,
he could play.
It's like, bro, he's fucking good, bro. That motherfucker is quick as a motherfucker, bro.
He's
straight
great.
up,
smart, tough. But
there's so many dudes like that. People don't understand that, bro. There's so many guys out there that are fucking really good football players, tough as a motherfucker. But it's just like, bro, there's so many talented dudes out there. He's one of them. Go ahead, though.
The dudes. No, I was gonna say you guys had, I think, 4 or 5 D1 O linemen. You know, you guys were you guys were stacked. I think 4 or 5. I don't know. Y'all whole team was damn near. Yeah, y'all was good. But so I think that was very interesting that we both played against each other, probably not knowing it. So I played 2015, 2016 JUCO. What years did you play?
15.
Oh, you left after 1 year?
No, I played 14 because remember you would have been at Idaho. I played.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So 14, and then we played 15. So you would have played at RCC that year, and that was my sophomore year at that point.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Y'all was rocking out. Hey, that's even more impressive that you went straight out of high school play, because I had that year, and I thank God I had that year, because that was that year of like, I didn't know shit really about playbook. I was just out there. I was just balling, you know, and that's the shit that I know now. I'm like, damn, I was really just out there just, you know what I mean? Freestyling that shit. Freestyling. I was just, and then once you get to, like, you know, your Division I levels, you see how intricate the game is. It's just crazy, you know, thinking back on your reflection. That's what I was saying. Like, it's hella impressive that you went out and played straight out of high school, because you're playing with some dogs. And for those who don't know, beside City College, like, You're playing with the
I'll
top,
explain it here in a
top of the
minute.
top. Yeah, you're playing top of the top
Bro,
people in the nation, junior college wise.
bro, literally, bro. I'll tell you what, bro. Like, my first day, bro, I get to, I could go on the backstory, but my first day when I'm walking into like the RCC parking lot, like you come down the hill and shit,
Yeah.
I'm with like the linebacker coach, like he drove me in. I had just got a physical. I'll never forget this shit, bro. I'll never forget this. So guys are like walking out to go to practice.
Right.
And bro, it was like this dude named Junior Palme. He's you might know some of these guys, some of these names. Junior Palme, big Samoan motherfucker, bro.
Yeah.
Like you can't miss that motherfucker, bro. Straight up 6'5", tight end, huge, bro. This dude named Leo Lafayette, another big Polynesian dude, bro. And this dude named Jonah Moy, who I was actually played at Oregon with. He was my roommate at Oregon. We played linebacker together at RCC as well.
Right.
Bro, he's 6'4". Bro, these motherfuckers are walking out together. Bro, I'm like, oh, fuck, man, I may have fucked up. I'm never going to play.
Yeah,
like, I'm looking at, and they all have like single digits in practice.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, this is not good. And I'm like a little dude, bro. Like people think like I'm a big dude. Like it's funny on my TikTok yesterday, I said I was 5'10", and everybody's like, what? Like, we thought you were. I'm like, no, bro. Like, I'm not. Like, I'm like 5'10", like 205. So I'm not
because
like
a lot of motherfuckers are lying out here. I'll say that. A lot of motherfuckers lie out there. Yeah, because the people.
I'm legitimately 5'10". I'm not big. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, they're walking out. I'm like, oh my God, bro. So Leo Lafayette, he had every offer in the country, like literally like LSU, Ole Miss, like gang of schools.
Right.
The other dude, Junior Palme, he's a bounce back from USC. He got in trouble for like stealing laptops or something. You also run into crazy motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You went to LA Harbor. It's probably even crazier, bro. I
can't even get
crazy fucking stories. But anyway, and these motherfuckers are walking out, and I'm just kind of like sizing everybody up, bro. The corners are like my size. Right. You know what I'm like, yo, bro, this is fucking nuts. This is nuts, bro. And like,
huge,
you know, when you really get into it, bro, it's like literally it's a Division I football team, bro. And like, it's crazy to think, like, and some of those guys are like 22, 23 years old, which isn't old to me anymore. But bro, I'm 18 years old. I told you I didn't know how to cook an egg, bro.
Grown ass men.
I'm like, I just got done living with my mom, bro. Like, I'm living with my mom. I'm all happy, nice and soft, comfortable. And I'm like getting thrown in with the dogs, bro. And I'm so happy it happened now, because it's like I look back and I like beat my chest, because I was and it was crazy because I was in like a leadership position. Like, I should have been more of a leader. I just was not as secure with myself. I was insecure. In fact,
you was 18.
And I was 18 years old, bro. Like, I'm a kid, bro. I'm literally like a young boy. You know what I mean? So looking back at it is just crazy, because I was the California State Defensive Player of the Year as an 18-year-old, homeless, motherfucking eating Jack in the Box every day, riding the city bus, like literally, bro, with fucking savages. Like, all these dudes are sad. My whole defense, my 2014 year, I also say that we have the best defense ever in Juco football. Bro, we were dogs, bro. We were dogs. I'm gonna send you some videos so you can cut it up and put it on here.
Well, every
shit, like,
add it in here. But I was gonna say, so okay, although we are describing the tough times in junior college, right? So I'm sure you can relate. I had very similar stories, but I'll say this: that was the best time of my life, for one. If I could go, I'd do that shit in a heartbeat. Okay, even though we were poor, we had nothing. All we had $20 for 2 weeks.
The journey, bro.
Like, shit like that. And for two, those are one of the most loyal friends I've ever met. Like, you know what I mean? Like, really, like, look out for you. Like, I was like, for me personally, I was in a 1-bedroom. It was like a studio. I was in there with 6 other dudes. 6 other dudes, yeah. But
Talk to him, bro.
So
Talk to him.
And rent was like $1,000. So we each, we split it up. We didn't want to, that wasn't the best living condition. But hey, you got a dream. It's a dog fight. It's a dog fight every day, every week. You know what I mean? You got to keep that purpose. But what I will say, although you did struggle, and it's you know, it might be intimidating stories. It's all worth it. But like I said, like
Hell yeah,
the
bro.
best time of your life. It's the best time of your life. I know. So I know you said you kind of shared your little first day at Juco. I went to LA Harbor, and if people don't know, man,
It's rough
it's
there.
rough. It's rough. I'm talking about, yeah. And I'm from Alaska. I'm from, you know, it can get rough over there, but I was in the heart of like, yeah, I was in the heat of everything. But anyway, my first day there, the coaches I had, hey, yeah, you could stay at my place. We got you a place to live. It's just not ready for another 2 weeks. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. Man, I'm thinking like, okay, I might have a bed for me, something. So he picks me up from the airport, or not even the airport. I caught a Greyhound. I caught a Greyhound. So I caught a Greyhound. He picked me up, and I was like, cool, this is where we're staying. This man had his whole family in the house. There was 3 other JUCO guys in there. We were sleeping on the floor. So I did that for like a week or two until I moved in with those 6 other dudes. And then we had no beds for the first couple months. We all rotated. And then when we did get when we did get the first bed, after a couple months, we rotated like 2, 3 guys sleeping on it, and then the other 3 sleeping on the floor in the living room. So we did that just to at least get some kind of comfort. But like I said, man, don't be scared of this. Like, you know, the stuff that we're talking about, this is the stuff that builds your character.
This will make you, bro.
Yeah.
This will make you.
I would say it will. It really will. I'll say it adds to that fuel when you're on that football field. Yeah,
bro. And not only that, but right now, like me just talking about this is like building my confidence, because I'm like, dude, I'm a savage, bro.
Yeah.
Like when I say shit like that, I'm not joking about that. Like, I'm really a dog. Like I know what. That's what I was saying earlier. We'll go back to that. Like, you got to figure out what you're capable of. Like, what are you capable of? Because if you never learn, you can never beat your chest and be like, dude, this is who I am. Yeah. Like, I'm a savage, bro. I could have nothing. I could be homeless and I could still perform at a very high level. And that's what you're talking about. It's like, I was same situation, bro. House full of motherfuckers. I was staying with the coach at first. Then I moved in with one of my counselors, right? Like, that's who they had me move in. She had 3 other basketball players staying there. Then I got kicked out or whatever there. Like nothing I did. Like, you got to kind of move on. Yeah. So to say that whatever, but moved on, dude. I'm from Portland, Oregon. I'm from Tigard, Oregon, which is a suburb outside of Portland. It's a very nice suburban city. Again, like, I'm not like, my mom's a waitress and my mom didn't graduate high school. Like, I'm not like financially, like, I'm not there, but like, I'm sheltered in a way where I'm like, dude, I was staying in an apartment with dudes from like LA, like Grape Street, Watts, California, Compton, California. Like, and I'm like, dude, I'm scared of these motherfuckers, bro. Straight up. I'm like,
it's not your environment.
And they're 23 years old. I'm 18, bro. Like, literally, I'm scared, bro. Like, for my life. Not like that. Not that they were gonna like hurt me, but I don't fucking know. Like the culture shock is crazy, bro.
You have to like look behind your back like every so often. So I'll say this too.
And they're doing wild shit like in the apartment. Like, you know what I mean? Like we're getting into brawls and shit, like crazy shit, bro. And this is not my lifestyle, bro. Like, I'm not. It still is not. Like, I'm a peaceful dude. You know. And it's an adjustment. It's just crazy to think about, bro. Yeah. You know, you said you're from Anchorage, bro. I think Anchorage is fucking rough. Like, my idea of it is, at least, I don't know. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, like, it can get down, but on the broader spectrum, LA or where we were at, it's crazy. I was gonna tell you, I actually had my coach actually. And sometimes the coach would just say yes to people that say yes, give permission to people that live with you and you didn't even say yes. So we had 2 Tongan Crips, big old brothers, man. You know, I love them to death. But for those who don't know, Tongan Crips and Samoans in LA, they don't get along. It's a beef. So they were kind of like, you know, in their mindset, they were kind of on edge. We were like, what the what? And so we still built that relationship. And then it was crazy because, you know, they would do their own thing right out there on the streets. And then they'd come in and tell us like, hey, Tongans and Samoans are beefing right now. Just stay away from this area, this area. Don't wear this color. I was like, say less. Like, you know, when I was out there in LA, man, because I grew up rough, right? but when I'm out there, that's not my territory. You know, I can't be all out there like that. So whenever someone, in LA would be like, "Hey, where you from?" You know that tone. And where you from? They usually mean like they what do they call it? Set tripping on you. They as soon as you, depending on where you say you're from and how you say it, you're gonna get beat up, robbed, whatever. And so anytime I hear, "Where you from?" How you doing? I'm from Alaska. I'm here for school. I'm here for school. Like, hey, how you doing? They're like, oh, okay, for sure. Like, they keep it pushing. But yeah, I mean, it's just a crazy. It's just wow. When I reflect on it, it's crazy. Like we both went through that. But that's why I made this topic. Just talking about JUCO, just because it's a brotherhood. We didn't go to the same junior college, but it's the brotherhood because
it's the same shit. Yeah,
it's the same
it's
shit.
different. It's different being in LA though, bro, because like I'm in Riverside, which is like
a little calmer.
You're gonna get him. Yeah, it's a little bit calmer. You're not gonna get as much like. It depends though, bro, because like San Bernardino is like one of the roughest cities in California.
I was born in San Bernardino.
Oh yeah, so
we moved out
so I was working.
Yeah,
check it out, bro. So at the pop out, so I'm taking the bus an hour, right? This is when I got back after my first season, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, fuck, I got to get a job. Now hiring, like it was Popeyes. So I go in there, interview for Popeyes. They give me I'm a smart dude. I'm well spoken and shit. They give me the job on the spot, right? It's my first job ever, bro. I'm working at Popeyes on Baseline and Waterman, bro. It's dangerous over in that motherfucker, bro. And I'm taking the bus, walking, like literally, bro. You know what I mean? So it's like
walking around, you're catching the bus with Gangbanger. You're catching bus from people don't understand or grasp like this is their reality. Bro, yeah. You're just so happen to be there, and you gotta,
anything can happen, bro. At that point, anything can happen.
So it's crazy. So like I said, don't be scared of these stories. These are just these are character development, stories of people. But
for sure. I advise development. Yeah,
like I said, the JUCO route is a great route. So I got like two. Well, okay, we had this topic right here, right? But I got about 30 more minutes, so I'm gonna kind of breeze through these. So
bro, wherever you want to go, bro.
We'll wrap up this, kind of JUCO football kind of spiel, and then we'll go to the next. So right now, okay, for the JUCO advice for potential athletes debating going top 3. What do you have for them?
So one more time on the question. So JUCO. Go ahead.
JUCO. So for potential athletes debating on going to junior college, what's your top 3 advice for them?
I mean, man, I don't really have any like great. I think you'll just be open-minded to like what we're talking about, like the process of like, you know what I mean? Just being a JUCO athlete, like really like you have to be focused. It's like it's your last opportunity. Like, and this is just my advice for anybody doing anything new in their life. It's like, dude, like put your energy towards it. Like legitimately all I thought about, like you could like, like some of the people I lived with, I would go on like manifesting. I still do shit like this. I would go on manifestation jogs because I would need to clear my mind of everything. I need to be like, I'm an only child as well. So like, I like being alone. And that's where I have my best thoughts and my most creative, and I would manifest things. So like football was on my mind, you know what I mean? So I would put success on my mind, bro. Like it's very important to be able to put successful, optimistic thoughts in your mind before you go and you compete, before you go and you take a test for school. Like I only saw like a positive outcome.
Right.
Like I didn't know, bro. There's no guarantee, but I just knew in my head, I'm like, dude, like it's kind of like with Steve Harvey. There was a quote that he had. It's like, dude, you're already going through hell. Like, why would you stop now? It's like, dude, I'm already in the process of this. Like for me, like I just got to be now. This is how I talk now because, again, bro, I built so much confidence over my life through things like this. So if you're listening to this, build your fucking confidence. I don't sit around and scream at the camera because I'm fake or I'm pretend. Like you can see it in my eyes. I'm a savage, dude. And it's because I built this confidence over this amount of time where I'm like, dude, I could do anything. The shit that we just talked about, like, dude, that's not easy shit. You know what I mean? So it's like, put your mind on positivity and focus your energy towards the direction that you want to go. If you want to be a Division I athlete in JUCO, why would you be, you know, I mean, and it's one thing to be a kid, like I get it, like you want to get some pussy or you want to go out and stay out late, but it's like, okay, you know, like how bad do you want to be good or great? Because it's like, if you really want to be fucking great, bro, like you're going to go on a late night walk and have positive thoughts and be like, yo, this is like tomorrow when I play, like every before every game I go on a jog and I'd envision me making big plays and they would fucking happen, bro. And I'll tell you what, this has nothing to do with your question, but I learned this because, so what I was saying, I moved on from the counselor's house. So when I was staying with the counselor, I think, you know, the coaches kind of place people places, kind of like we were talking about. Right. And I think they were like, yeah, you know, like AJ's not playing well. Because I wasn't playing well. The first 3 games of my JUCO football career, didn't play very well. I was kind of distracted. I wanted to go out. I wanted to go see what like the bitches were about. I wanted to like experience life in a different way, like away from home and like be in the cool crowd and be like with the cool people and like go to the parties and like that's where my mind was. That's where my mind was. But when I got kicked out, I started doing this manifestation when I'm telling you about these jogs. And I didn't even know what I was doing. I'm just like, bro, I'm gonna go on a jog. And I start having these super positive thoughts and focusing my energy on what was important to me at the time. And that was football. Right. You know what I mean? So I think it goes for anything. It's like, dude, if you want to be great or if you want to be good or if you want to be successful in any area, it's like you have to be able to focus your mind into that in your energy into that area that you want to be successful in. Straight up. You know what I mean? Like if you want to be a great boxer, you got to manifest positive thoughts about boxing and put your energy there. You can't just be like, oh, I'm the shit. I'm about to just go out there and smoke everybody. That's fake confidence. That's fake confidence. You know, you'll never be it's like me, it's like test taking, right? In high school, college, I never thought I was gonna do well on a test because I never studied. Right. So how the fuck would I do well? If I'm just like manifesting, like, oh, this is the way manifestation works, I know I'm gonna do well on this test. Yeah. Then I go in and get an F, and I'm like, manifestation is bullshit. No, I didn't do anything to put myself into that realm of energy, and I'm not putting my energy towards being successful at that test. Right. It's just like anything else, bro. And I mean, I guess that would be my thing is like, dude, like, just try to find yourself, stay focused, and like focus your energy towards what you want to be successful at. And you know, internally, you know if you're full of shit. Right. Like people know if they're full of shit. You know what I mean? Nobody has to tell you that. You know that.
Yeah, you know what's crazy though?
You know what I mean?
I align with everything you said, like 100% manifestation. But and then also towards the tail end, what you said is everyone thinks manifestation is, oh, I think positive, everything's gonna come. No, you got to think positive, yes, but then you got to put the work to match, and then like, you know, you'll start seeing things because people, I'm like, yo, man, you got to change your energy. You know, where your mind goes, your energy flows. I firmly believe. Right. So I was like, bro, you're not putting the work, the mindset and the work ethic isn't matching up. So that's why you're not getting results. But look, check this out. Have you read this book before?
I have not. What is that?
It's by Jack Canfield. It's Key to Living the Law of Attraction.
Beautiful.
Very powerful.
I love the law of attraction.
So I'm very big on, like, you know, I didn't even know you were gonna, you know, I could feel the energy, you know, where, you know, I feel like people just know. When you know, you know. But anyways, I knew.
That's a good saying too. When you know, you know.
So, I align with that same thought process. But that's great advice for people. You know, going to JUCO. Man, get your energy right. You know, if you're not getting the results you don't want, or if you're not getting the results that you want, you know, reality check.
Why is that?
Be honest with yourself.
Yeah, what is it?
That? Yeah,
are you just not good at it? Like, it's possible to just not be a good football player. You might be slow as shit and unathletic and uncoordinated. You're like, dude, I don't know if I can do this. So maybe that's it. Or maybe it's the fact that, like, you know, maybe it's not that. Maybe it's that you're not focusing your energy in the correct way.
Exactly.
You know, like maybe your energy's like, your focus is like, dude, I'm trying to get some bitches. Like straight up, bro. Like, people are like that. They're
Yeah.
like, man, I'm just trying to I'm trying to find out. And some people are so talented. I'm not one of these people. Some people are so
Yeah.
talented that their energy could be way over there and they could still come out. And I know guys like this, and I know you know guys like this that are like so fucked off, but they come out and they ball out.
Mhm.
They're like, dude, nobody can fuck with me
Those
and
are
ball out.
physical specimens. Those are, yeah, that we're talking about.
Yeah.
So, hey, yeah, that's great advice. So we'll move on to this topic right now. So, how was the transition for you from being an athlete 24/7 and where you're currently at in life? I ask this because thousands of athletes, including myself, go through a tough phase that I refer to as the identity crisis post athletic career. It's a
That's
developmental
beautiful.
event that involves a person questioning their sense of self or place in the world. So for me personally, I was depressed for a year after I graduated. I didn't know what the hell my purpose was because I didn't go pro.
Right.
So my journey just abruptly stopped it. So like I said, I lost my sense of purpose in life. How was your transition, and did you go through this?
Man, absolutely. I think every athlete that, like once sports, like, or your, not, I don't want to say sports, once your football career is over, right? So like you described it. So you said like very similar to me, myself from age 2, I'm like, dude, I'm going to the NBA, I'm going to the NFL. I'm doing one of those two things, right? And I think you really, it's interesting because you have this lifelong goal, you have this lifelong dream, and you just see your life so it's just one direction.
Tunnel
It's like
vision.
this is
Tunnel
what's
vision.
gonna happen. It's this tunnel vision. And that might be good. I don't know if that's good or bad. But once somebody says no, like because at some point for most 99.9999999% of people, even guys that play in the NFL for a few years, somebody's eventually gonna tell them, hey, no more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think what you're talking about with the identity crisis, man, and I see this with a lot of former teammates just through their posts or they're like, it's unfortunate. And I've been through it myself. So myself, I thought I was going to go to the NFL. I had a great season at UTEP, my senior season. I led Conference USA in tackles. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Really good experience. I was like third in sacks, balled out.
All that. Yeah.
And long story short, had a pro day, a really good pro day, but I ran really slow, and I'm also 5'10". So NFL doesn't really work out for me. They say no. Somebody tells me no, and dude, at the time, man, and this is a very complex question where I could talk about this
Mhm.
for an hour,
Yeah.
but at the time, dude, I'm just like, I don't know, I didn't like, I had a girlfriend, recently had a baby, and I was like, dude, like, and it goes back to me not being very competitive and not being very like, dude, I'm gonna do this. Fuck what anybody has to do. I'm gonna keep trying. So I kind of like settled. I started coaching football at UTEP. I got a graduate assistant job. Long story short, wasn't making very much money, and like my plan was, I'm gonna keep training. I'm gonna prepare. I'm gonna keep, and like if I get a call, I get a call. If I don't, keep training, keep training. I'll do a pro day, try to get in the CFL, et cetera, et cetera. And I didn't really come out of that, or going into the next year, same thing. So as I got hired on full-time salary coach at UTEP. My job got cut due to budget cuts that last spring, or no, excuse me, last winter. This time last winter, and I'm actually happy that you asked this, man, because I like kind of found myself after that, where I was like, okay, well, I really want to play football. So I was still training. I was like, okay, well, I'll do like Uber, and I'll do like Uber Eats or whatever, and I'll make some money. I have some money saved up, and I'm gonna just, really focus my energy towards getting picked up by a football team. And I started doing my social media influencing, and I just started to like kind of fall in love with it, bro, where I was like, dude, like I can kind of express myself. I could be creative. I feel like I have a purpose. Like people like to hear from me. Like I didn't know people like to hear like my thoughts or my like, and I was like, dude, I could kind of do this. I started making some money, and I got away from everybody else. I
Mm.
got away from everybody else where I wasn't really socializing as much. And that, I mean, you can say that's good, bad, whatever. But for me, it really allowed me to like talk to myself. And I wasn't going out, I wasn't drinking, I wasn't partying. I was just kind of like doing my thing. I was doing my social media influencing thing. And I started to realize that like sky is the limit. I was like, dude, you don't have to be an NFL football player. You don't have to be an NBA basketball player in order to live a happy, successful life. And it's funny because I just talk about finding happiness. Like if you could find a way to be happy within, God, man, I wish I had more time for this answer. But it's like, dude, like finding your inner happiness. And that has nothing to do with a job. That has nothing to do with football or a sport or anything like that. It's all about you. It's just you and you. It's like, if I'm like, right now I'm happy. I feel extremely happy. And I started to learn that I actually wasn't happy when I was playing football. I was actually wasn't happy. I was like, I was around a lot of people, you know, some of those people, like, I don't feel like we're like real, you know, when I say like real friends, I'm like, I treated them as real friends, but they might not have been real friends. You know what I mean? And they're still cool. Like me and everybody I'm cool with fucking everybody. But my point is like, I was feeding it, like giving them my energy, and you're very limited on energy. And it's like, if they're not reciprocating that energy and we're both not growing as individuals, and I was like codependent, and I had a million different problems that I hadn't addressed. But once I started to like branch off and just do my own thing, like unapologetically, and like kind of like rebelling and just doing whatever I wanted to do. And I was like, dude, like, and it's funny because people think I want to play football now. Like, people think like, they're like, oh, well, you know, like, and I'm like, no, I actually don't want to play football. Like, I love my independence. I love creating my own schedule. I love what I'm able to do now, and I'm able to still challenge myself in a competitive way. I love jiu-jitsu. I do jiu-jitsu every day. Like you do boxing. Like I think doing a mixed martial arts sport is incredible for anybody that's just like soul searching.
Yeah.
I think it's so awesome. And I think just finding healthy, productive ways to express yourself is important. If I had to give you a simple answer, but there's so much work that you have to do to get there, because it's like, dude, your whole life for 25 years, bro, I thought NFL, CFL, NFL. This is how people identified me.
Right.
And it's important. Okay, this is how people identified me. Everybody identified me as a football player, as an athlete, as this, right? And I think it's important that you start to identify yourself and start to detach yourself from what other people think of you. Doesn't matter.
100%.
They're all about what you think. It's between you and you.
100%.
Whatever you think about yourself is what you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I think that's the important part.
And I'll
like detaching and attaching to yourself.
Mm-hmm. It's like you said, refinding yourself, reshaping, you know, the identity that you put on yourself and others, you know, put on you too. Like, you know, kind of boxing your life into, oh, he's this, you're that. But I'm glad you said that, you know, and as cliche as it sounds, like, oh, in your 20s, you're going to find yourself. And I really am. And I'll say this, I wasn't happy like the last year I was playing football. I just noticed, I was like, man, it's just different. You know, I love football, but like I said, I wasn't happy. So I actually had one more year left to play. I didn't take it. I went and boxed. And so I feel like I graduated in 2019. I did great. 7-0, won the Golden Gloves. I was supposed to represent New Mexico in the because I won the heavyweight Golden Gloves championship.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, nice, bro.
I won it in February, and then I was supposed to go represent New Mexico in March. COVID hit, right? And those weeks, you know, I didn't look at it as a blessing in disguise. I was like, man, this fucked up my momentum. Like, what the fuck? What am I gonna do now? Because there was no fights going on. So, like I said, a couple months go by, and I'm really taking that time to self-reflect. I'm like, man, what am I doing? Why am I boxing? I asked myself that question. Am I boxing for me? And what I came to find, you know, in those months of reflecting was, I was boxing for everybody else, because that identity, everyone was like, I saw how much joy and happiness my athletic talents brought everybody else.
Yeah, man.
I wanted to keep feeding that to everybody, because I was doing my thing, like, you know, football, boxing. And, you know, I started detaching myself. I was like, nah, like I learned so many great lessons. Like I'm more than that. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of helped spark my like identity search, you know, and right now I'm still going through it, but like you were saying, you started.
Everybody is.
Yeah, and people aren't aware of it. Some people are. I would like to say, like, you know, you're going to get, if you're not already aware of it at this age, you know, it's going to come, you know, it's going to come. and you don't even have to be an athlete. This is just period. Your identity crisis could hit whenever. But yeah, bro, I was like, fuck, I'm not boxing for me. I'm boxing to keep everyone else happy. So that's when I kind of started tuning in. I was like, what am I good at? What do I love doing? Yeah, and then it was kind of hard. Like I said, I was doing the Uber Eats. I was doing the DoorDash. I was doing anything. I was like, okay, I got to do this. I was doing the Forex. I did Forex. Hey, Forex is actually good. You just got to stay away from you gotta stay away from certain shit. That's a whole nother topic. Bro. That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah. Because I was gonna challenge you on that, but go. Yeah, I've never. Yeah. I don't know anything about Forex, to be honest, but there's a negative connotation. It's kind of like Herbalife and shit. Like it's like a cult. But go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Like I said, but then as I was finding myself, I was doing anything I can to stay financially stable. And then got back in my I went and I got back in my master's program. I'm getting my master's right now in public administration. So I started that the fall of 2020. And then I stopped caring what other people, that's when I started saying, I don't give a fuck what you think. Like, I don't identify you, and I'll say this, a lot of people want to be around me because I'll say this, I'm like the life of the party, good energy, great. I'm the social guy. Like it's a culture thing. And it was just, I feel like I moved everywhere. So I adjusted. So I kind of have I'm just all around personality guy. I noticing during my college days, a lot of people, they want to have fun with me and like party and this and that. Then I started like looking, I was like, damn, they only hit me up when, when it's time to go party or shit and that, like, no one's really, so I was like, fuck that. I started like, kind of cutting people out, going out less, started honing in on like what my purpose is, what my calling is, and started listening to,
it takes work, bro.
It takes a lot of work. It's every day.
Yeah.
And, the things you put in your body, we'll talk about this too. It really, it influences your brain, your mindset, and it's everything is connected.
That was my point. I'm like, bro, you asked such an open-ended question that I was like, and it's not your fault. It's like I was like, fuck, bro, where do I start? Because we could talk about diet. We could talk about coming close to yourself by using nature, by using the sunlight. We could like, bro, I could go into a million different by cutting off certain people that are like, oh yeah, AJ's really cool for this. And I'm like, oh, and I'm hitting these. Like I used to be the guy that would like hit people up all the time. And now I don't do any of that. And people gravitate more to me. And it's now as a people pleaser and as an empath, it's hard for me to say no. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
People pleaser too, bro. I don't know if you're a Cancer. I'm a Cancer, but that's just part of my identity. We don't like to disappoint people. We don't like to.
Bro.
We don't like to say.
And I don't know if it's even, bro. I think it might be the college athlete thing where it's like, because even like looking back as a football player, bro, like I would get like a good feeling by like other people identify me as a good football player. Right. And it's like, nah, bro, like I don't want anybody to identify me as a good anything. Really. I'm like, dude, like, like I'm an influencer. But like I also like do jiu-jitsu, and I'm also like a really I'm a really happy, positive person. Actually, I like when people identify me as that. That's my goal. My goal is not to make money or really to do anything outside of just be happy, because like me being happy means more than having $1 million to me, because I'm like, dude, like the $1 million isn't going to make me happy, but if I'm happy, I might be able to get the $1 million and be, it's just going to enhance my life. That's all it is. But I'm already happy. So like, if you're like, oh man, fucking every time I see AJ, he's fucking a happy motherfucker, I'd be like, oh, bro, that's an excellent compliment. I love that. You know what I mean? But they're not like, I'm not like getting off by people who are like, oh yeah, fucking AJ, man, he knows how to gain followers. Like, I'd be like, I guess, like I'm just being myself. But I mean, like, that's not my MO. So when I look back at being a college athlete, like I wanted to be that guy where I was like at the club and they were like, oh, that's AJ Hotchkins, man. He's the, I never got to that level, but it was like, it's like, oh, that's AJ, man. He's a baller, this is that. Like, oh man, and he signed in the NFL, and he's, and like now all the women want, like I used to want attention. Now I'm actually very like
just more reserved.
I'm like more introverted, where I'm just like, I like my energy. Like I'd rather not draw any attention. Like I like to inspire those through like my content, and that's really it. but I don't want anybody drawing any attention to me. Like, oh, that's it. Like, it's nice that people know that I'm capable of certain things, but like, I'm not seeking attention or seeking approval from anybody. I'm like literally not. I'm like, oh, you don't think this? What does it matter to me? What you think?
I'm on. Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
interesting, bro. But when you ask the question, it's kind of hard because I'm like,
Yeah, because there's
bro,
so dynamics to it.
so many ways. Like, if I could, like, yeah, like, because we can go back to diet. It's like, bro, like, I would encourage you to start, exercising or moving every day. I would encourage you to eat an extremely clean and healthy diet because I know those are the things that are going to benefit you. It might not happen tomorrow. It might not happen in a week. But if you just continue to do it, like, you will be happier. And I know that because I do it myself and I know how it makes me feel. I know how it makes me feel. Also know how it makes me feel to tell somebody no. I'm like, dude, I feel strong because I just told like somebody no because I wasn't down to do that. But I used to just say, yeah, I was a yes man. I was like, oh, I'll do that. Oh, yeah, I'll do that. Oh, and in fact, I'd even reach out and ask other people for favors and to go out with me. And it's like, no, bro, like, I just like to be in my own zone. I like to go on hikes and shit. Like, because that's the way I find true happiness, I think, but I don't know. You know what I mean?
So what are some supplements? I know we talked about some organic stuff. What are some supplements you put in your body?
Bro, so man, supplement wise, like creatine, and I do magnesium. Okay. So magnesium is like a natural mood enhancer. Okay. As I'm not a dietitian, but this is just what I know about like magnesium. That's important. It also depends on your location. I was talking about this earlier. Like, if you live in Anchorage, Alaska, I'd recommend like you start supplementing vitamin D. Like, you're not going to get much, or you might get Anchorage. I don't know about, but it's like sunlight, right? Like in Portland, Oregon, you for sure need to supplement vitamin D. So it kind of it's dependent on the person. You know what I mean? And then I also have a supplement guide on and I didn't put it together. It was my nutritionist at Oregon. We worked together and put together like a supplement guide. So I kind of just follow that. I'm not very knowledgeable on like supplementation and like exactly what it does, but I just know if you're deficient in certain things, like depending on your diet too, it depends on your diet. Like, you might be iron deficient because you don't consume enough iron. So that might be something that you need to supplement. Or it's like, if you're a vegan, there are certain supplements that you're going to need to go ahead and supplement because you're missing a ton of different vitamin and nutritional value from like meats, right? And proteins. So it just kind of really depends on the person, but I'm really not a big supplement guy. I do like I said, and then I also do collagen, and collagen is good for like joint health, and like joint recovery, I believe. So I do that, and I'll do that in like a shake with like plant-based, like vegan, like protein. I do like a half scoop, but for the most part, that's really what I do. And then a scoop of creatine a day.
Okay. You got a lot of good supplements in there. So we got 10 more minutes. I'll wrap up with 4 more questions. There's a low key, just because I fuck with your vibe.
Go ahead, bro. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
No, you're
sorry,
good.
Bro.
No, that's just how it is when it's just natural. Like, shit, we can go on. We can spend 30 minutes on one question, but yeah, man, that's just it's good. It's great content. Okay, so I'll say this briefly. Any advice for people trying to start? Any advice for people trying to be a content creator, like starting off?
Bro, just start posting shit. Just post whatever, bro. Like, post however you feel. Like, literally, like, go outside and be like, man, like, just say whatever. Like, the best content creators, and this is not just like this is not just like what you're talking about. Like, content creators to me are like influencers. Like, dude, like music, acting, etc. Like, any of these like forms of content, I believe if you're closer to yourself, your content will do better, because my content comes off as very organic and natural. And sometimes I'm wrong. I don't know. Sometimes I'm wrong, and I'll admit that. I'm like, hey, like, don't foam roll your fucking IT band. I was wrong about that. No issue. But I'm going to say whatever I want to say, however I feel at the time. And then however the world reacts to that is however they're going to react. What content creators that struggle, what they do is that they try to appease the audience. So if I'm trying to please you, it's not gonna work, bro. It's not gonna work when I'm like,
It's a
oh, I wonder
forever
what
thing.
these. Yeah, it's like, dude, just do whatever as an artist. Even as an artist, it's like create whatever feels natural and however you feel in the moment is what you should be trying to produce and put out. Like right now, I'm not trying to create any type of persona. I'm just literally saying whatever the fuck I have like comes to my mind. Like I don't even know that the camera's on me. I'm just talking to you.
It's
I don't
organic.
even know that
Yeah,
we're doing it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just organic
It's
content.
authentic. Yeah. And I'll say
And
this.
I struggle with that sometimes too. I'm like, dude, I do a voiceover. And I was like, I don't really like that one. Like, and you could also tell through my content, like I do like this. Like if you go back 6 months ago, I was like, this is how you get this fast. And it's like, I'm not wrong for saying that, but that's not very organic of me to say. It's like fast is relative. So I mean, you can't get a 6-pack fast, but like how fast is fast? Like what is fast?
Yeah.
You don't know. So I'm not wrong. I'm not lying, but it is misleading. So like for me, I just do my best to like put out whatever like I feel in the moment and whatever I feel like can help and inspire somebody. You know what I mean?
No, exactly.
Go ahead though. Sorry.
No, you're good. So now I had a couple questions in the kind of like the men's like with women kind of section, but I'll just ask one because I asked you before in your live. You said you're gonna break it down a little bit. Then I have two more closing questions. So when it comes to females, right? 100 girls, would you rather have 100 girls not committed to you or one loyal girl?
I mean, I think this also depends on yourself, right? So like I think you asked the question a little bit differently this time.
Oh, okay. So but, would you rather have 100?
No.
Okay.
But okay, yeah, no. It totally works.
Yeah.
I think it just depends on you, right? So if you're like, dude, I got energy and I got resource for 100 women, bro, do the 100 women. Okay. But for myself in this moment, like I don't have energy for 100 women, barely have energy for one. Mm-hmm. So it's like I think having one, and also I think as a man and as a human being, I think it's more beneficial for you to have a trusting relationship with one person than it is to have with multiple. And that goes for men or women. So I think like, you know, when you ask that question, it's like, yeah, like for myself personally, like I'm rocking with one over 100. You know what I mean? 1000%. Because that's especially in 2022, bro. Like that's not an easy thing to find. It's not an easy thing to find a supportive woman that is gonna like literally ride or die behind you and believe in you and support your goals and your aspirations. Like you tell these women, you tell them in 2022, go to the club and start telling them, yeah, I do a podcast. I love to do it, but I make no money. Just start telling them that. Or start telling them, yeah, man, I have this really great idea. They're not going to give a fuck about that. Because what they're going to go do is they're going to go fuck with the dude that has the 42 in the section and they could fly him out. And then what'll happen is like, you know, even if you end up with somebody of that on that level, they're going to break you down and start to deteriorate you. And that's happened to me. They're going to break your confidence level down because they're not supportive. So when you're like, man, because dude, I failed a million times. Like as an influencer, I've been like, and this is, you can put this on there. I have been broke, like dead broke, where I'm like, fuck, okay, I gotta hustle and find a way. Yeah. So if you're not gonna support me in this phase of my life, then it's all good. Like I don't want you anyway. You're a shitty person because I'm supportive of everybody. Like we talked about earlier, somebody might tell me a crazy motherfucking idea, and I'll be like, dope, he's dreaming big. Who the fuck am I to say that person's, you know, wrong or they shouldn't pursue that goal? You know what I mean? So I think that's important.
Yeah, no, it is, and that's why I asked that, just because, you know, it is a little silly. It can be, you know, a silly question, but I feel like a lot of the guys, they get knocked off their purpose because they're out here trying to please 100 girls, when really in reality, that one loyal girl is going to be there, support you to everything. You know.
Well, I would also argue that's also their perspective is wrong, because if you're out and you're trying to please 100 different women, or you're a chaser of women, or you're putting women before, like again, we talked about like finding your purpose. Like if you're putting that before finding your purpose, like I'm going to go out to the club, I'm going to try to buy shots and get drinks, for people that don't matter, it's like the same thing as putting, it's not just women, it's with men too. They'll hold you back as well, because it's like, dude, if I got 4 friends and I'm always doing for them and I'm always providing and I'm always giving them my energy, it's like, dude, they're taking away from myself, because it's like they're not pushing me forward anyway.
Mhm.
So I think like you could have, 100 different women in your life, but it's like, are you prioritizing that?
Yeah.
That's your priority.
Work for
And
you.
I
Yeah.
think that's where you go wrong, because at the end of the day, in 10 years, what is that going to net you? That's not going to net you anything of value. You know what I mean? So it's kind of interesting. That's an interesting question, but I think it's all about your perception, because you can have 100 women in your life, like that one dude that's always on the yacht with 100 different women, and
Oh yeah.
that's his hustle. I don't know. I haven't listened to, he has a podcast out with the Nelk Boys, but that's his hustle. So I can't say he's wrong, but he's not prioritizing them. They're just like in the background for him. He's like, yeah, I ball hard, and then I go and this is how I enjoy my time. You know what I mean? But when women become a priority for young men, I think it's a huge issue for young men, especially. I see it now in a lot of like older friends. I'm like, dude, like, you're tripping, bro. You need to be trying to find yourself.
Like, you still in the club trying
Yeah.
to do all these? Yeah, hey, yeah. And that's a whole nother
Try to
topic.
find yourself. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
I know. Sorry,
That's
bro.
no, good. I love, like I said, we could be here. But yeah, so we'll wrap up with these two. So if you could be remembered for one thing, what would it be?
That's a good question. I think just like, somebody that can inspire others, to like be themselves, and to like again, just like helping people find, like helping people, I guess, helping, inspiring and helping people. Because I think, you could give out great information, and I think people, but people may not gravitate to it. So I try to do things in a way that captures people's attention. I give them a strong positive message in the direction that's helping me. I can't speak on what's going to help you, but what I can do is I could put information and content out there that's going to inspire somebody that's similar to myself. So if I could make a video today and it like helps somebody, and they're like, yo, bro, like I get these messages like 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day where they're like, yo, bro, like you have no idea how much you've helped me. Like, and it could be like what we just talked about with the just being a masculine and not chasing women and prioritizing yourself. Like I might say something like that might resonate with this person, and then I might be like, athletes, not bodybuilders, and I get a message from the person that's like, dude, I've been training like a bodybuilder, and you changed my life. I'm so much in, like, literally. Or I'll do a Zoom consultation call with somebody. This one dude, super dope. He was like, bro, you have no idea, like, and he was like rattling off shit about how I've helped him, and I'm like, dude, this is so inspirational and motivational for me. So I think if I had to answer that shortly, it's like, dude, just to like have the opportunity now with the internet is awesome, because I could like reach more people and inspire more people that are like-minded. You know what I mean? It's not for everybody. Some people are like, oh, cringe, this guy's screaming in the camera. And I'm like, okay, well, that's them. Like, and that's a part of being the influencer. It's like, dude, like you can't value everybody's opinion. Like, I don't even know these people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, exactly. And I was gonna say the reason why I gravitate and I really do invest in your content, man, it's your authenticity, your transparency. There's a lot of content creators out there, but a lot of them they're not living what they're saying. Like they're not, like I could see it, and and I like the fact that you keep it 100% honest with yourself. Like you're like, man, I fucked up today, this and that. So I think the fact
I drank this weekend. I say I tell myself, or I posted myself getting kicked in the head. That went viral. I posted myself getting rocked in my first kickboxing fight. That went viral. And it's important to do that, because if you're Nipsey Hussle says this, if you're sharing your success and not your struggle, you're a fool. I think he says something like that. And it's so true. And it makes you like, dude, I'm not following anybody that's like, oh, life is just perfect every day for me. I never make any mistakes. It's like, no, you make plenty of mistakes.
That's what people project out there. So that's why I like, you keep it 100% daily, authentic, and then, you're original. So I was going to say, where can people support you? How can they support you? We're going to put the links into every, thing that you're going to mention right here. So how can they support you?
I love it, bro. AJ, the sales guy, man. So So what I have now, guys, is I have my online fitness app that's been like my primary hustle, and it's not like, again, like I'm not out to take anybody's money. Like I 1,000% recommend it to like younger athletes, JUCO athletes, high school athletes, pretty much anybody that's trying to get in better shape, improve their overall health. I even have stuff like just for regular fitness clients. I post and like blog all my daily workouts on my online fitness app. And then I have like my supplement guy that I talked about, Pratik Patel. He's my nutritionist at Oregon. And then he later moved on to the New York Giants. Now he's doing something independently. So I have that supplement guide. I have my meal prep guide. So all the stuff that I eat. Basically, all the information you guys need is on my online fitness app. I'll shoot you guys over that link. And then I also have, if you're not into subscription-based things, or if the fitness app's not for you, I do have programming. If you guys click the link in my bio, I have my link tree, and I have like my 12-week like football specific. So if you're a young football guy watching this and you just need a program to work off of, I have the 12-week athletic performance football specific program that's also link in the bio. And then that also comes with my meal prep and my supplement guide. And that's really all I got, man. Yeah, man. I appreciate the opportunity and the platform, bro.
No, I appreciate
1,000%.
Man, it's knowledge. Like I said, we're all connected. But yeah, man, you're doing a lot. And so we'll definitely get people out there to support you because, man, there's a lot of people out there, like you said, you say a message and it really clicks to them. That's the thing that they needed to hear. So
right.
You're doing, man. I love what you're doing, man. Keep going. And that's the thing that's going to separate you from a lot of people. And I know the goal ain't to get like be a millionaire, this and that. But bro, you're gonna be up there because I have the mindset because that's what I wanted to be. I was like NFL to be a millionaire, NFL. But now the mindset I have right now is like, okay, I'm doing myself right. I'm doing my thing, building myself. I'm gonna be a millionaire one day, but that's not the purpose. The purpose is the more money I can acquire, the more people I can help. Just like you kind of your purpose. Dude, and that's my mindset. My paradigm has changed. It's like, okay, yes. So it's not all about the money, right? But in this world, this day and age, you got to go get your bag, you know, to be sustainable, my fault, and, you know, elevate and make a generational change for your life and your family life to come. You got to acquire money. So like I said, the purpose is to be a millionaire. It's just the more money you have, the more people you can help. So what were you going to say?
No, I totally agree with you, man. I think that, you know, the closer you come to yourself and like your inner self, and the more you learn about yourself, the more you seek happiness, I think positive things will come, not just with like money, 1,000%, 1,000%. That'll gravitate to you as well. But I think like more positive relationships. Dude, you have no idea how many people I meet out and about. Like I met a lawyer at the track the other day. He's like, bro, like we talked for 2 hours. Then I figured out he was a lawyer. And I was like, bro, like it's so funny because I've always wanted to meet a lawyer. Like, you know, like you feel more protected. Like, I'm like, I don't know when the fuck I'll need a lawyer. You know what I mean? But it was so crazy because it's just a natural, organic thing where I'm projecting positive energy. We're talking about fitness. We're talking about Joe Rogan. We're talking about whatever it is. And he happens to be a lawyer. He's like, bro, I might not be the lawyer for you, but like I could refer you. 1,000%. Got his number. Like, so like, I think relationships, I think money, I think everything. Like if you're just a positive, happy person in your inner self, you know, I think, you know, positivity will gravitate to you. I'm a firm believer in that. And never chasing anything. You know what I mean? If your one goal is to go out and make money, I think you'll make money. But you know, who's to say that's going to make you happy? And that's where, again, I've changed in that same way where it's like wanted to go to the NFL, didn't happen. I'm like, damn, man, how am I going to make $1 million a year? You know what I mean? And now I'm like, well, we'll see. It'll happen. You know what I mean? I don't know.
There's a word I want you. I mean, you could know what it means, but serendipity. There's that word, serendipity. Have that, you know,
no, I don't.
Listening to serendipity. So this will be the last story just because you
okay, yeah, go ahead, bro.
But I like, man, like I love it. I enjoy talking to you. I enjoy having you. But this summer, my birthday's in the summer, July 6th. I had lunch in San Antonio. I was in San Antonio vacationing, whatever. And so I'm looking up dinner reservations. I want to eat at a steak spot, like a fancy one. So I pull up and I'm thinking on the app, it says you don't need no reservation. So I get there. the lady's like, oh, you need reservations, but there's bar seating. And then, like, I could have been like, what the hell? This is my birthday. I want to make it special. Like, I want a table. But I was like, oh, you know what? Yeah, that's fine. Cool. Like, we'll get the bar.
Yeah.
So
Bar is great.
yeah, but I was like, okay, cool. Jam-packed, fancy, like 5-star restaurant. I get in there, sitting at the bar. And everyone at the tables, they're getting their service faster just because the bartenders are already making drinks, and then they have to take your orders,
Right.
So I ordered my appetizer and everything. Is your screen still on? Okay, yeah, I ordered my appetizer.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
And then there was this dude, you know, cool looking dude, whatever. And like I said, he kind of looked rich, and I was like, but for me, I can talk to anybody. Like, I'm cool. And he came and sat next to me. There's a chair open. I scooted over. Oh, I'll scoot over. He's like, oh, appreciate it. He was with a girl. And I was like, hey, man, welcome to the no reservations table. And he kind of laughed. He's like, haha. No, I'm just.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, it's a good conversation starter. Yeah.
Conversation. And no, I'm just here waiting for my table. I was like, okay, cool. So we had small talk. He saw this ring. This is my New Mexico State bull ring. He was like, I actually used to have a girlfriend out there. I spent some time in Las Cruces. I was like, okay, cool. So 5 minutes go by. He gets his table. He's like, all right, man. Shake my hand. Good luck, with everything. I'm like, okay, cool. So we get our appetizer, finally sat down, get my drink. And then 5 minutes passed by, and the waiter comes to me, and or the hostess, she's like, hey, Mr. Sweeney would like to buy you a drink. What would you like? And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Get me this. So another 5 minutes go by. I get my drink. Mr. Sweeney comes over to me, and he taps me. He's like, hey, I got some good news, brother. And I think he's like in his 60s. I got some good news and some bad news. He was like, the good news is I got you guys a table. Bad news is with me. So I'm like, hey, fuck it. Like, hey, what the hell? Like, hell yeah, the more the merrier.
Yeah.
Sit down, and we're just having an authentic conversation, organic. Midway through the conversation, so we probably had a dinner for like an hour and a half, probably 40 minutes in, he's like talking this and that. He was like, well, I wasn't going to tell you this, but I'm telling you this for the purpose of the story. He's like, I'm actually a billionaire. He didn't say it in those words, but he was like,
yeah, like he's just
billionaire.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so he has and then he was like, you can look me up and everything. But he was like, the reason he asked the girls at the time, you guys, do you know why we're here sitting at this dinner table? We're like, no. Well, he asked her, and she was like, no, why? And he was like, because of that man right there. He pointed at me. He's like, serendipity. He was like, soak that word in, look it up. He was like, it's that energy you put out. Yeah, he's like, the energy you put out. And then and like I said, I was on my last like $400. The meal that we paid for, order was like $200.
I love this story, bro.
The deal I had was like,
this is great shit. You're like, fuck yeah, like
so the deal I had was like $300, and I was gonna pay for it. I was like, whatever. Tonight's my last night here. We have $100 to go back, And so we're talking. He talks about his life and everything, and I'll have him on the podcast here soon. But yeah, man, he's a billionaire. His net worth is like, I think 3 billion, something crazy like that. But that's pretty much what he was telling me. He was like, keep being you. Don't chase money. He was like, that's not the
beautiful.
Like, don't chase money. He's like, if you're chasing money, you're not gonna get there. He's like, chase your passion, chase the things, and hone down on those skills and things like that. He was like, keep spreading that energy. And, that's pretty much how he broke it down. But that word serendipity stuck with me. He was like, that's the reason why we're here. He was like, none of this stuff like happens on accident. It's organic.
Those moments happen all the time, bro. I do that all the time where I just like say something because like it's cordial. It's like the dude sat down next to you. You're just like, hey, bro, like no reservation. Like me either. Like you're not even. It's nothing. But the dude is like, oh, I like this guy's energy. That's all it is, bro. It's crazy.
And it shocked me because I'm like, man, not that I'm a nobody, but in the grand scheme of things, say financially, like, bro, I don't have that crazy money, to my name. This man is a big taking the time. Like, you know what I mean? It was just like the rawness of it was like, shit, like this is really crazy. And then he ended up paying the whole meal. I got his contact, but like I said, you'll see him here in the podcast. But I want to share that because I'm sure you run into a lot of those things like that. I do too, but it's because the energy and the lifestyle we live, the manifestation, it all does connect. And that's why I had to get you on here. That's another reason I say this. It's my first podcast of 2022, and I had you on first to set the energy, set the tone. I love your energy. I love your tone. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So to move forward, like for me, I do everything intentional. So sometimes I do random shit, right? But for the most part, I set everything up. So that's why I was
with
like,
intent. Yeah,
with
right.
intent,
That makes sense.
with the things I enjoy doing. I was like, okay, this is how I'm gonna set it up. And so yeah, like I said, I loved your honesty. I loved your contagious attitude, you know, about life and your mindset. And I was like, that's the person I need on my first episode of 2022, just to set the tone, man. It's a high standard. The next guest gotta, you know, live up to. No, I'm just playing.
Well, it's good, bro. I got
Yeah,
on here
it's
before the
good.
billionaire, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
That's a good
yeah,
sign,
yeah.
bro.
He lives out in San Antonio, but yeah,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll definitely connect. And yeah, man, I appreciate you for you know, coming on, taking the time, because yeah, a lot of people are superficial, like, but yeah, like I said, you're gonna help a lot of
Yeah, no,
people.
1000%, bro. And it's just an opportunity to have a conversation and
Mhm.
like bounce ideas back, you know, and it's like it's a platform, you know what I mean? Like
Sir,
it's awesome, bro. So I appreciate you having me.
no, I appreciate you. I'm
Seriously,
gonna start now.
1000%.